What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video from Gray House. Thank you very much for tuning in. Before we get into today's video, you already know what you need to do. Hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment at the end. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between being motivated and being driven. Now, there are essentially two types of motivation: extrinsic and intrinsic. Now, essentially, let's put it as a block and say that it's internally motivated, externally motivated. Now, to be motivated, you have to realize that there's a difference between motivation and being driven. Now, driven is pretty much channeled by our past, by our rage, by our depression, by anything, any emotion. It drives us. And the actions we take every step forward is the action that is the drive for us to do that. Internally motivated, that it's something that is for your own fulfillment, not for anybody else's, not for mommy, not for daddy, not for grandma, not for your dog, not for your girlfriend, not for anybody, and that is called internally driven. It is called internal motivation, but internally driven is because it is for your fulfillment, because it's your passion and your own personal pleasure and your own personal gain. That is what it's called to be internally driven or internally motivated. Now, what that differs is from external motivation is what I call the validation motivated. That somebody has to give us a reward, or we have a punishment pretty much put on us, and that is going to motivate us to do that task. Now, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here, but one of the things that I've been digging into my book, discovering who I am, who Isaac Martinez is, but not only developing the book and understanding the concepts of what my capabilities are, is that I have been so externally motivated lately that I realized that I am driving myself, my mindset, into the ground by thinking that way. That getting some money, or getting a client, or getting so many likes, or getting so many shares, or getting so many views, I realized that I lost my grasp of who I am, or I was losing my grasp of who I am for being so externally motivated. But what does that have to do with life? What does that have to do with anything? So as little kids, we are pretty much there's a theory called the positive and negative reinforcement theory, meaning if you give a kid a high five for doing something good, he's going to want to do that again. By repetition, by motivation, you get the whole works. But if he does something bad, like break a vase, and you hit him, or you give him that negative reinforcement, it's going to give him the opportunity to not do it again, or he's going to be sneakier about it. So let's just say a little kid steals a cookie. He's either going to get hit, put on timeout, and there's only going to be one or two things that are going to happen. He's either going to be sneakier in stealing the cookie or not do it at all. That's called the negative reinforcement. So moving forward, what does this have to do with external motivation and internal motivation, to be internally driven? What it has to do is more on the external side. Is external motivation is pretty much someone validating what we have to do. So we are put in this mainstream school system that, if we do very good in class, we get an A. But some people don't think that way. And when I tell you this is, we're pretty much destined by our parents, our grandparents, the kids around us when we're 0 to about 12, that if we don't make good grades, we're not going to be successful. But as we grow older, that's not necessarily the case. An A is validation that we're doing something good. A B is validation that we're doing something good. I was told that if I got a C, I'm failing at life. And for the longest time, I thought I was, because that grade justified the rest of my life. But then I realized, now that I'm 22 and I have a clearer mindset and there's just so much going on, I realize I'm just glad I passed the class. That is called internal motivation. So you see the difference. Distinguish it even further, dig deeper, and keep it simple, stupid. That, let's say it's something as simple as cleaning your room. Some people clean their room as a chore to get paid by their parents every week. That would be called externally motivated, because I am getting pleasure, or I'm being motivated to do something for money. Or internally driven, because I actually clean my room just because it makes me feel good that my room is clean. That is called being internally driven. Because if it drives you personally for your own fulfillment, that a clean room is going to allow you to sleep better than night, you're internally driven to fulfill that. throughout the course of our years from 0 to 20, essentially we're doing things to please other people instead of please ourselves. You know, having these serious conversations with people that are close to me, I realized that I've been relying so heavily on external motivation that when I was doing these videos, it was trying to get as many shares as I can and trying to get as many likes as I can. But really, just writing this book and understanding the why and the who I am, it's allowed me to just give you this content because it makes me feel fulfilled that, one, if I keep it locked in, it's going to bother me and I'm going to bother other people because I'm trying to, you know, talk about doing this video instead of actually doing it and giving it to you. And the worst thing is that unfortunately I was living on this broken record player where I was talking in circles, and of course broken record players get annoying and boring, and I am living up to that. Like, I realized that I was so relying on external motivation that I was losing sight of who I was. And so that's why when I tell you this, it's not so much that not to be motivated. Motivation dies and goes, but when you're internally driven for your own personal fulfillment, if you're doing something that you really hate, why are you doing that? For someone else's validation? Stop doing it. I realized me giving these YouTube videos to you and helping impact someone else's life because nobody else wants to help them for free, like this YouTube video, that internally drives me. Not because I got 200 likes, just because that one person liked it. That's it. Or just somebody watched it, or somebody shared it. It's not so much about the quantity anymore, and I realize that it's just more of the quality. Like, each one just builds a stepping stone after another. And that's why restructured what I am actually here to do. What is my YouTube channel about? It's about personal development, how to get you over that sales scheme, because I realized I was really good at sales, how to discover your own career path, and just making sure that you stay in peak performance. That's what I realized. And if I could impact that other person, well, you know what? It just internally motivates me to do that more. So when you like this video and when you share it, and you give someone else the opportunity to see or just understand why they are so down in the dumps or stuck in the rut, and this video is part of the reason why it gets them out of that rut, and then you leave a comment, that actually drives me internally because I can't stop. Like, I physically can't stop. When people download my Improve Your Status bundle guide, and they say that was very informative, that was very good, that just keep on doing what you're doing, I'm internally motivated, not because they gave it to me, just because the fulfillment of impacting someone else's life or changing that is just driving me more. Are you currently externally motivated that other people's validation is what drives you, but when that stops, does your motivation stop? Or are you internally driven to do something because it's going to fulfill your needs, it's going to fulfill your wants? Let me know down in the comment section. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this video was a very good insight, because I know this year has been rough for me, and I'm sure it probably has been rough for you, if not more. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. You already know to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Gray House Consult and Gray House Co. Until next time, stay tuned. Take care.